And we're back with the last game of the day. I can't believe it. We done it. Grannis, we did it. I guess.
We made it. We
made
survived through delays and terrible, I don't know, whatever. We're here.
I mean, the games were awesome.
Yeah.
But the waiting time for the games, I guess it's sort of worth it to sit like, I don't know, an hour or a half an hour, sometimes with delay because of whatever problems. But still, either way, guys, this is the Brazil Game Cup, and yes, it's parallel to, of course, the ESL 1, but still, thanks for tuning in. For those who are interested in this kind of Dota scene, the games are amazing, I have to say it, and this is not the last match of the loser bracket, but it is that match where you pretty much decide when the real games start, and that is pretty much the last moment. This is a best of 1. From tomorrow on, we have a best of 3, the last game in the winner bracket before it goes into the semifinals, and tomorrow one more game obviously in the loser bracket before it goes in the semifinals, and then we have the finals and the third place decider. My name is HeflaTV, casting with me is here Mr. Grandis. We had amazing games. I hope we have another amazing game here. Maybe it's even one of those long games, and the ESL viewers might even hop in here for the last part of the Brazil Gaming Cup. Either way, guys, we're not doing this just for us, we're doing this for you. And if people missed it on ESL, I mean, you can still check the VODs. Either way, let's look into the draft, Grannis. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, sure. The first bans are looking very familiar. Terrorblade Brewmaster as well as Death Prophet Razor taken out. And the first picks, we have Faceless Void Ancient Apparition on the side of CNB, and Scarth Mage Tidehunter on the side of Isurus. Both teams offering a decent amount of utility as well as teamfight power. I don't know, CNB's combo right now, it can go either way, either starting with the Ice Blast and then following up with the Chrono, or starting up with the Chrono and then following up with the Ice Blast. Either way, if they're able to line those up properly, they're probably winning a team fight. And similarly for Isurus, if they line up the Ravage as well as their Scarth Mage ulti, it's probably a one fight for them. So a lot of power as well as some pretty standard heroes on both sides.
Yep, it's looking good. 2 big fat ultimates, or actually, if you consider all the ultimates of these 4 heroes, like all of them have a huge impact. I mean, on top, obviously, the Ravage and the Chronosphere, but also the Ice Blast, having a nice synergy with the Chronosphere is there. Good thing is, obviously, that the Skywrath Mage is on Isurus side, so they don't have to deal with, for example, Chronosphere plus the Mystic Flare. That would be even worse. And now let's see, the second bun stage is up, and they have to bun stuff that is even worse. I mean, right now, we see in what direction it already goes for CNB. This might be Utility Void. We saw that once today already. Then again, maybe a team goes for another approach and goes for a farming void. Let's see. Spectre's getting banned out as well as the Omni Knight. The Omni Knight is quite a surprise. I don't understand yet, but maybe something else is getting picked that somehow explains it.
I mean, Omni Knight is already really good defensively up against the Faceless Void if you're not caught inside the Chronosphere. So positioning is very important, but I think that's more or less the thought with this ban. I don't know, Omni Knight's a hero that was, I don't know, not seen at all for the longest of times, and now is starting to rise a little bit in popularity, and teams are actually experimenting with the hero. He's really strong if he's able to get those levels online, but that's pretty much the hardest part about running with the hero. Yeah, it's an okay ban, but I think the other heroes that Isurus might be picking up are a little bit scarier than the Omni Knight. We'll see. Isurus are going to be taking their time with this next pickup. Right now, CNB are probably going to have the pick of whatever other support they want to go for with that Faceless Void. Witch Doctor is probably going to be available unless Isurus pick it up here, so I'd expect that to be their choice. And then again, they might consider going for the Invoker. Also, Isurus might be considering that hero as DDX plays a pretty mean Invoker.
Yep, absolutely. And, well, we know everything that's banned out. It's about the 3rd and 4th pick. They take their time. They take 1 minute and 20 to decide exactly this, a Sand King. So, we have another Sand King. Actually, we have 2 or 3 Sand Kings in this tournament. And all of them were pretty much, okay, I stay in lane for level 3, and then I go jungle, come back with a dagger, and try to make the plays. It worked out more or less. In some games it actually failed, but let's see where this is going. So far Isurus is not coming up with the core, so there's everything open, which also means CNB, they might be banning another core for them as well. If that's a utility void, we still need a proper mid. and maybe even a third core on the safe lane if they want to go really greedy. I mean, overall the games are pretty long in this tournament. Like, I think we never had a game below 40-50 minutes, which is kind of normal for the 6.82 games anyway, but a lot of games were above 60 minutes, 65, 70 minutes. We even had an 86-minute game with a crazy mega kill base race, mega creeps, base race, and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to, of course, more of these games tomorrow and on Sunday when it's best of 3 format, when we're going into semifinals and finals. So let's see. Centaur Warner is coming out. So from one Blink initiation pick to the other on CNB's side.
Yeah, Ancient Apparition and Centaur Warner together offer a pretty potent global ganking combo. Blink, Hoof Stomp, as well as Double Edge Initiation onto somebody that has the Ice Blast debuff on them is pretty much 100% kill if it's somebody like the Sand King Scarth Mage. Tidehunter might be able to survive on it up against that if he has enough farm in order to do so, but usually he's also going to fall to just the amount of burst damage that comes through those heroes. Isurus, I think, right now would be a decent time to pick up that Invoker if they're considering it. It's still available. But instead, they go for something completely different in the Slark, an incredibly aggressive hero that doesn't fare very well up against the Faceless Void at all, or the Ancient Apparition and Centaur for that matter. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this Slark pick.
Well, I mean, we saw a Slark last game, but then again, he didn't have those opponents. I mean, now we have a Faceless Void, so that's a Chronosphere, and a Slark doesn't offer too much of a HP pool to go against this, so same goes for the Centaur Warner, like another stun there. Invoker, maybe there's a Silence Invoker coming out with the Orchid on the Slark. That is, well, something to go up against. The Slark in the last game definitely had a way easier matchup.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. The Invoker is going to work very well with CNB as far as dropping Sunstrikes as well as Deafening Blast Meteors inside the Chronosphere. The global potential coming out from CNB is very strong. Either Faceless Void or Centaur, if they jump in onto anybody, they're probably going to die as long as those spells line up, and in all likelihood they should, with the stuns coming out from the Hoof Stomp as well as the Chronosphere. As far as their last hero is concerned, honestly CNB could go for anything they wanted to. I'd love to see the Witch Doctor. I think that's probably one of the most solid supports that's still available in the pool, offering a little bit more pushing power with the Voodoo Restoration, as well as just more damage in the Chronosphere, which is never a bad thing.
Yep, absolutely. Now the last buns. It is about the last buns. Not much time left anyway on Isurus' side. They really took all the time in the world there. And we have the Shadow Shaman. The funny part is Shadow Shaman, he hasn't been banned in this tournament at all. Not a single time. Not that I can recall. He also hasn't been picked. And this is one of the heroes that has like a huge decline from 6.81 to 6.82. It's just crazy. Also quite interesting, like Terror Plate came twice out. 1 win, 1 loss. And we had a Legion Commander, like another 6.82 hero, and just 1 pick and 1 loss this tournament so far. I mean, tomorrow and on Sunday we have best of 3s. So more games to come. Let's see if we see some more action there. But yeah, like the statistics for the 6.82 heroes, not too good, and obviously some 6.81 heroes are really dropping in the rate they're gonna be picked. Either way, TA is gonna be the last one here on CNB's side, which means Isurus, they have to pick 1 more, and to be honest, it has to be another core. I mean, they have 2 supports, an offliner, they're gonna put that Slark in a tri-lane, I assume, and yeah, Quap it is. The Queen of Quap is gonna be in the mid.
Ooh, not a huge fan of this Queen of Pain pickup, although it's something that they're very comfortable with. DDX does play a good Queen of Pain. It's a hero that he shines on fairly effectively, but if Isurus don't get off to a snowbally start, their heroes don't make a very comfortable transition in the late game. Although a late game Slark and Queen of Pain definitely can be scary, it's not going to be the case if they're just passively farming. But if they're getting kills on the enemy team, you get an early Orchid on your Queen of Pain, early Blink, Scotty on your Slark, they could be incredibly scary, but I'm not sure if I'm entirely on board with this. In lane, up against the Invoker, Queen of Pain can do a good job and dominate that lane if the Queen of Pain has a higher skill level than the Invoker, but on even playing field, the Invoker is still going to be able to get something out of that lane at the very least. Let's see, CNB is their last pick. This support, I'm not sure what they were considering as this 5th pick. It might have been the Shadow Shaman since they are eating through a decent amount of their time. Picking up the Witch Doctor might be problematic as the Slark and Queen of Pain could assassinate that hero very effectively, but honestly, what else are they going to pick that's not going to be so?
Something ranged. anything ranged.
Yeah.
And to be honest, oh well.
Rubik's also not bad.
I'm not even sure. I mean, Invoker mid that faces. I'm still not convinced they actually go for it, but yeah, why not a Witch Dog? Why not a Witch Dog?
Yeah, I think that's probably just one of your most standard supports. Maybe it's something completely out of the box since they are considering this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Mirana instead. More things to pump into the Chronosphere, although not as reliable. I'm not a huge fan of this Mirana pickup. They're going to rely very heavily on their Centaur Warner and Faceless Void initiations in order to make things happen. Although you can have just a straight arrow landing, it's not very reliable. I mean, maybe Mirana's just going to have a really good arrow day, but more often than not, that's not the case.
Yeah, like I was hoping for something that comes inside that Chronosphere, something, I don't know, any sort of damage would have been just fine. But either way, we're gonna introduce the teams fast while the normal pause for the South American games is coming out. Nidara is gonna play here, that Skyriff Mage. Dolce is on the Slark fullback, playing the Sand King, followed up here by Papita on the Tidehunter. He's gonna have a crucial role because the Ravage timing is gonna be very crucial in this game. And of course we have DDX on the Queen of Pain. Let's see what we got on the Radiant side.
And on the Radiant side, we are going to have CNB Esports. This is a fairly new lineup with C4T playing on the Mirana. Currently inside the base. Paradox going to be your other support playing on the Ancient Apparition with Centaur Warner handled by Goody. 225 on the Invoker, leaving last but not least Markeka playing on the Faceless Void.
Yep, that's pretty much it. And yes, this is the last game for today. And it's also one of the last games in the loser bracket. And loser bracket means you lose, means you go home. And I already said it, guys, there is like a certain pressure on the teams. I'm gonna show it again, like we have to bracket while we have that pause anyway. Right now we are here in this game, Isurus versus CNB. Tomorrow one more match before it goes into semifinals, but whoever is losing here in this loser bracket is out. It's just out. So yeah, that's very, very important. Anyway, back to the game because they unpaused while I was showing the draft. Let's see if they're heading for some gank train. To be honest, the gank train right at the start even smokes a very unpopular idea in the South American LAN event because, especially in a best of one format, everybody is so cautious. Like, I can't even describe it. Like, they're so afraid of everything. Then again, not today is one of those teams where I thought they were really Rambo style in comparison. The others, the Brazilians, I guess with the pressure of the home audience there, they're like really trying to win, make everything out. You saw THD not even GGing, they tried to like give something to the crowd. I guess they were cheering and whatnot, so that would explain it. Either way, let's see at least who's gonna get the runes. It seems like both at least gonna get in position, but I think maybe it's bottom rune. No, they're even going back. I think, again, Dire Side is gonna get the runes, which is statistically a lot higher if we compare all the games now.
Yeah, it definitely is, although I'm not sure if it should be as one-sided as it is. I think this is more or less just team preference. The Mirana's posturing for that top rune and potentially could get denied, but no, fullback as well as Dulce are way too close to it, and it's gonna be a double damage rune secured by your Slark, whereas the bounty rune snagged by the Tidehunter. Papita already off to a decent start, one pooled Tango, as well as those boots first, is going to keep the Tidehunter pretty safe in this lane. And Ancient Apparition as well as the Faceless Void are not very scary on their own, although the Faceless Void can man-fight up against the Tidehunter. Anchor Smash is going to stop a lot of the damage, and unless he gets some really lucky bashes, I don't expect any kills to happen. C4T was fishing for an arrow in mid, it doesn't land, and that's going to be the clarity eaten by the Mirana, and just like that, Queen of Pain is going to have a pretty good time in this lane versus the Invoker. Yeah, already starting with that Shadow Strike harassment. Top lane, Centaur needs to be a little bit careful, although without the Sand King there, it's not as dire a need to have everybody, or to be playing so defensively, I should say. The ward coming out from the Dire is going to be dewarded by the Mirana, so her time in mid isn't completely wasted, but still, it's going to be some good lanes coming out here from Isurus. All three of their lanes should be able to get at least something.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the rune distribution was pretty decent. I mean, it's already 1 minute ago, but I mean, everything you need there just happened. Bounty rune on the Tidehunter, who needs experience and gold, and the double damage on the Slark, even though he ate an arrow for that. it doesn't really matter. He had like a nice start there as well. So at the moment everything's going well for Isurus. The laning and everything, you pretty much mentioned everything and won't go there. At the moment, DDX, well, in the mid, the Mirana doing some harass as well as the Invoker, and that drives DDX definitely out. There won't be an arrow, or will there be an arrow? C4T, okay, that's quite interesting. The arrow, he's gonna be dodging it, but oh my god, these right clicks, he's gonna be denied just by the Invoker. What a play.
That was a very peculiar man fight coming out from the Mirana. They end up winning it. Had that deny not come out, Quinnipian gets the first blood. DDX is going to be forced all the way back to base.
It's 59 gold lost. Like, that new awesome tool of fight recap is just amazing. It shows you actually how much was lost there in like such a deny situation, and yeah, obviously no first blood bonus, no nothing, just 59 gold lost, and that's pretty much it. Like, unfortunate, the Mirana, maybe a tiny bit more damage, or the Invoker being faster there, or having Sunstrike, or something like that, it would have been amazing, but no, it didn't really happen.
Yeah, it's going to cost Quinnipian a trip back to base as well as a TP scroll, so in that sense, even just by the net amount of gold used, it's going to benefit CNB. Down in bottom, Faceless Void's taking quite a bit of harass from the Tidehunter, who's currently sitting at level 4, whereas only level 3 in the Faceless Void because he's been sharing with the Ancient Apparition. And Pepita's pretty safe in this lane, although they are going to time walk with Chilling Touch. I'm not sure they can get this kill, and they won't be able to do so, although we'll force out a couple more restoratives coming out from Pepita.
Yeah, I was actually waiting for the Ancient Aberration finally doing something, because he didn't pull, he didn't use the Chilling Touch at the start whatsoever, so, I mean, in my opinion, you should definitely use that spell. It's 110 mana, and you have a 1.2, like, base mana region at this point with the 2 branches, so why not using it? You, like, when you stand around anyway, just going for here and there for some harass, you reach that mana back, so you might as well just give it to the Void. If he doesn't get it into the Tidehunter, he gets it into creeps, making sure he's getting the proper guaranteed CS, because yeah, Chilling Touch, just too pro. But let's see how this is going. At the moment, I don't see any of these lanes having quite the potential to get a kill. Like, Slark plus Skyriff Mage is the lane where I see the most happening, potentially.
Yeah, and even then, it's not very likely to happen unless Goody steps very aggressively forward. Currently out of regeneration, Centaur, munching on his last tango, is going to be forced to play a little bit more defensively, but once he has the Tranquil Boots online, the harass from the Skyriff Mage isn't going to phase him that much. So yeah, we do have the Mirana still sitting mid. C4T is not really let up on this mid lane. After man fighting up with the Queen of Pain, leading to that deny, hasn't really accomplished anything on top of it. Double damage rune going to be secured by fullback. DDX is going to bottle himself, then bottle up fullback before snagging up this rune, and both of them are going to be pretty happy because of it. Fullback does have his level 3 now, and he'll be able to start farming up a fairly large stack that he's made up for himself. Currently a quad stack in that dire large camp, which is going to accelerate fullback's farm very immensely.
Yep, absolutely. Also, I mean, so far the rune's quite nicely distributed. Oh, that arrow really close to DDX. Now he screams and Invoker. Well, oh, DDX, that's bad news. There's a Sunstrike, but nice dodge here. He's using immediately his bottle, getting full mana, full HP pretty much soon. Like, C4T trying really the best, but oh, bottom. I think we have our first blood here. This is Pepita. There it is, the right click. And Ancient Apparition is the lucky one. That's a nice start for him, obviously. I didn't even see why the Titan was in that awkward position, but the position was very, very awkward. I mean, he was supposed to run back to his tower, but instead he ran to the wrong one.
Yeah.
I don't think he confused the sides. It was just like him.
Invoker in mid, however, double damage on DDX is almost going to secure the kill. Cold Snap on our tower doesn't matter as DDX still secures the kill and survives because of it. Still, Isurus are getting a decent amount despite losing their Tidehunter for first blood. Not the greatest way to start things off for this Tide. Honestly, I think what happened is they dropped the Cold Feet and then got a Lucky Bash. And then the Tidehunter ran, for some reason, into the enemy side of the map. Even if he ran towards this tower, I think he would have still fallen. And again, Pepita is going to be bashed by the Faceless Void. Maxing out the bash, if he does get that proc, it does quite a bit of damage to the Tide. And, I don't know, looks like he was just caught out in a very awkward situation. The bash is not benefiting the Tide.
Yeah, absolutely. And still, like, in direct comparison, even with this death, the Tidehunter is doing definitely better, because the Ancient Aberration still not pulling. He is not pulling. He hasn't been pulling the entire game. We are 6 minutes in, and this camp of trolls, it's dying of old age pretty much. So I can't really explain why that's happening. I guess they hope that they get a kill each and every time. That's why he's staying around. I mean, they have a quite potent setup. Obviously, you said it already with the bashes. They can get something. They just need the cold feet to proc. It's, by the way, one of the first times in a long time that I see the cold feet proc coming out.
Chrono bottom, Papita going to be struck by the sun and now going to be bashed down by Markeka as well as by Paradox. Another kill going the way of the Faceless Void, or yeah, and it's going to give them quite a bit of experience as well as a little bit more gold into their pockets. Faceless Void getting the bulk of that gold. Yeah, the Faceless Void is now going to be working towards his Mask of Madness, and unlike the Void that we saw previously in the Brazil Games Cup, this one's going to have quite a large margin or amount of farm. Dulce up top is going to be going for the Hand of Midas. I'm not a huge fan of Midas on Slark, although the levels are nice on him. Blink Dagger and just playing more aggressively would be, I don't know, more beneficial, I feel. It's kind of a role reversal.
It's really a greedy pick for that Slark. Let's see. The problem is, you really don't get much of this item except for the levels and obviously the gold, but let's see where this is going. I mean, he got it, he used it once, he's gonna use it twice now in 5 seconds, so let's see where this one is heading. Definitely interesting approach, but as I said, like, in this tournament we see many different approaches which we usually don't see that often, not in Tier 1 and Tier 2 Dota, in other scenes, maybe BC or European scenes, yes, whatsoever. As I said, like this Ancient Apparition approach, for example, with a 2-1-1 build at the moment, this is also completely against pretty much all the other Ancient Apparitions, because they all go for the Ice Vortex and of course Chilling Touch, but yeah, 2 points in Cold Feet, unless it was an accident, it's a new approach. Let's see where this one is going.
It's definitely no accident as he puts the 3rd point into it. I think this is to follow up after the Hoof Stomp as well as the Arrow if one lands, potentially even after a Chronosphere. I'm not a huge fan of the choice, but it's not terrible, I suppose. Chilling Touch doesn't scale that well. It's up in top. They do have a leap onto the Centaur. The Sunstrike comes through onto Dulce, but it's not enough damage. And with the Arrow not landing, they're not going to be able to get the return kill. Both offlaners being picked off, although the Centaur less than the Tide, both of them are still having a pretty poor time. This Tide Hunter does have his level 6, however, and the ability for him to TP and rotate in order to help out other lanes is there.
Yep. What I didn't understand is the Tauren, he actually interrupted once his stun, so he could have bought some more time. Oh, actually there's a nice Ice Blast here on the Sand King and he's instantly diving in his Doo-Doo-Doo Storm. But yeah, this is not enough for Shatter obviously, but it might have been if he would have taken like full damage of those neutral creeps, like 3 ranged neutral creeps just hitting him. Maybe. So pretty interesting. With that ward, I mean, they kind of gave away the position of this ward. Maybe putting that Ice Blast in the mid, harass on the Queen of Pain would have been more interesting. C4T still trying to get arrows here in the mid, but that Queen of Pain just too swift in reaction. But there's a smoke behind them, and it's a freshly hatched little monster, a sea monster with a Ravage, ready to use it. They want to get that Invoker.
Yeah, Sand King is also going to have his Blink Dagger finished, so fullback might be able to make a rotation. Currently in mid, there's a lot of posturing, but nothing's actually happening as the Invoker is currently playing very defensively. Midas is jungle creep and farms one of the camps. He might show his face. Both of his supports are missing, however, so he's not going to go any further than he is currently, and the rotation is going to fail. Unfortunately for them, the next rotation is probably going to come out of fullback. Despite not having a smoke of his own, maybe he can persuade the Scarith Mage to purchase one for them if it's not on cooldown, which it shouldn't be. They still have 2 in stock. Yeah, the Slark, after getting that Hand of Midas, is now operating with Power Treads as well as a Bracer, potentially going into drums. I'd love to see a Blink Dagger on Dulce, but that might not be the case. If you are going to play it this passively, going for the Midas isn't a bad choice by any stretch of the imagination, but I would have liked to see more aggressive Slark play.
Yep, absolutely, and well, let's see where this is going, because I think the Faceless Void is gonna initiate pretty much soon. Like, Scarif Mage is such an easy target. They only need the Ancient Apparition. Where's the Chilling Touch? I mean, it's only level 1 still. It's quite some nice damage. And there we go.
Chronosphere bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Hedera is going to be Sunstrike. Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast lands onto nothing as Invoker gets the last hit. So yeah, another pickoff using that on cooldown as Central Ultimate just to escape this Centaur does eat quite a large amount of damage, though DDX doesn't have the ultimate or anything else to pursue. Still, that cooldown will be expended. The top tier 1 tower is going to be put under some pretty heavy pressure by Isurus.
Yep, and we see that Ancient Apparition, I guess he decided right after... Oh, there was a nice error on the Slark here top, but no, there's no follow-up. But yeah, this Ancient Apparition, he decided, hey, I got first blood, a ton of gold, so why not go in for more? He's level 7, he really got a ton of XP on this lane, so he's rushing directly for that Aghanim Scepter, which is a quite interesting approach. I don't like it. Of course, if you get it early, it's all cool, but the problem is that if something goes wrong and his farm is somehow stopped, then this takes ages till he's really, I don't know, recovering. But let's see. For now, he's bringing Dust of Appearance, which means Mr. Sand King here, gotta be careful, but Blink Dagger is already there, taking the Bounty Rune, or does he leave it maybe for the Queen of Pain? I'm not sure. No, he doesn't need, because, yeah, Queen of Pain, look, bottle, haste. Let's see. Queen of Pain in the mid. I wouldn't go there. Look at this. 4 people surrounding him, but... Oh, is there arrow? Somehow falling up. No, he's even using the haste rune. He's getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, he's going to be completely fine. Speaking of Blink Daggers, Pepita also completing his on the Tidehunter. Does have Ravage available. I don't think we've seen that cast just yet. From the Tide, it's still a fairly passive game. Dulce picks up the drums, potentially moving to end that passive start. We're currently operating at about half a kill a minute, which isn't really much of anything, and most of these kills are isolated on your offlaners. As far as rotations are concerned, there haven't been very many this game. Smoke by Mirana might change that, and Sand King still hasn't really put that Blink Dagger to use, but might do so in bottom. As C4T doesn't show his face in the lane, they don't know that Mirana is there for certain, but they find the AA. Yeah, and the Scarlet Mage ultimate onto Paradox. He'll be blown to bits. Markeka is there with his ultimate available. So they can't really go for more, but still, that is going to be your first usage of Epicenter, finding a kill onto the AA.
But you're right about the kills, though. It's a very slow game again, but this comes with the best of 1 format. Like, I mean, we observe this now since game 1. They're all so careful with everything. Like, steps are well planned ahead. They just go for those 100% kills, and everything else they rather ignore it. Like these battles, even the late games battles, they were like, oh, there's 1 buyback, let's just all fall back. That's how it went. Either way, it's gonna be a 1-1 trade, but this is quite interesting because look what we got here. Centaur coming in. It was just a follow-up attempt after the ice.
Oh, the more interesting engagements mid with the Ravage being spent, landing onto 2, double kill for fullback as he gets them both with the Sandstorm damage.
At least you got the tower off this one.
I'm not sure if that's a worthwhile trade, trading your 2 most important
but it's like the upside out of all of this. If you die, at least, I mean, tower deny plus 2 kills, that would have been really bad news. I mean, the worst news is obviously the tier 1 tower in the mid. There's no cliff left, so they go for this, and I'm not sure if there's any defense. I mean, there is the Ice Blast. If that one is coming with an arrow, that might be interesting. Oh! On the Skyrath Mage, there's the Ice Blast flying. They need something else, any damage, but oh, Ancient Apparition, he really wants to go for it, but yes, this is gonna be a kill easily, but the question is, do they get the Quap? Yes, they will. That's an awesome kill for them, really important. And even the Ancient Apparition, did he actually witness? No, unfortunately not. He got killed by the Queen of Pain before he could witness that Skyrath Mage kill, but still, it was worth it, I think, overall.
Yeah, I think so. If you clump both of those engagements into the same fight, it's beneficial for CNB, all said and done, especially considering that secures Goody his Blink Dagger. He didn't have a great time in lane, hasn't been able to farm very effectively, and it's just blinks galore coming up from both of these teams as Dulce also gets onto the blink train. And that's going to be our 4th of the game, 3 on the side of Isurus. Their initiation power is incredibly scary, as 4 of the heroes can jump immediately on top of you and blow you up. We still haven't seen this Slark make very many rotations. He's gotten 1 kill, but other than that, it's just straight up farm for the Slark. Not to say he's farming poorly, in fact he's farming very quickly at 108 CS at 50 minutes in. But yep, they find the Faceless Void with another Epicenter Burst Strike initiation. Just going to be an easy pick off there into the tier 1 tower push, but the Slark up in top. He's going to avoid the first lockdown spell that they throw his way, but the Cold Snap is going to latch. He doesn't even purge it off. He's just going to sit on the outskirts of the fight. He doesn't even need to use anything. Pause is going to come out from CNB.
No hotkey. What does that mean? Like he has no hotkeys? Then get some.
Yeah. I don't know. Apparently we're good to go. That was pretty quick.
That was pretty quick. I guess you just had to go to your options and bind it, like for certain whatever. But I don't know. I to be honest, I don't even know why they cancelled like this chase on the Slark. I mean, sure, he still has like ultimate, but the Blink Dagger came up again and the Hoofstorm in 2 seconds. I guess it was not worth it just because tier 1 tower here is still standing, so there might have been just some rotations. Either way, tier 1 bottom, it's down. 60 minutes in, 5 and 8. Still a very slow game, but it picked up a bit of pace. Let's see where this one is going. I mean, the Sand King now, well, he's quite low HP. I don't think they're gonna attempt anything, especially because he doesn't have the epicenter. So let's see where this one is going. They're still heading towards mid, but it's just, yeah, placing a ward, and I think they're going back.
Yeah,
even
it
though
seems
Ravage
that way.
is ready.
Yeah, they have all of the tools that they need to find those kills. They just haven't really put everything together in one spot already. The Epicenter is still coming off of cooldown for quite some time since they did commit that to Faceless Void, but they're going to Burrow Strike and only on Marqueta. The Ravage in the backline runs to all three, however, in the Scarlet Page ulti, the damage is going to be split, but it's still enough to secure the kill in the Faceless Void. On the backlines, we do have the Queen of Pain focusing on C4T. We'd be able to get that kill with the help of Nidera. Now they are going to Hoof Stomp up DDX, but they don't throw the double edge this way, looking potentially for the ultimate Blinks galore as they find 3 kills in bottom without losing anything.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful play here. I mean, the Ravage was awesome. Like the Sand King, like even with his low HP, he's still doing something here in the enemy jungle, just clearing it out. And sure, why not? Just to do the Storm up. They might put some pressure on the tier 2 tower, but this is taking more and more shape for Isurus. This game is looking good. 11 and 5, and the Slark is not even part of all of that. Like, he has been farming greedily with a Midas all the time, and it's just not part of this game. As for Isurus is just enough to make a lot of things happening, especially because the Void is dying so fast right at the beginning.
And this item pickup is going to make that even easier, as the Queen of Pain, now with an Orchid Malevolence, is going to make the Faceless Void's life very difficult, and might put it to good use, as doesn't have any backup, so is going to decide better of it. It still begs the question, why pick a Slark if you're going to play it this way? Maybe they're just taking advantage of how the game has evolved, but honestly, the Centaur lane can't really do much. As far as putting pressure on that safe lane farmer is concerned, and they probably could have gotten away with something a little bit greedier than the Slark that scales better. I want to see the Slark do well and be better with the amount of farm that he's getting.
Yep, absolutely. 5 and 11 now. The runes, everything is pretty much on Isurus side, since they push sort of their territory like beyond the river line at the moment. It looks like they're controlling even the enemy jungle, and saying that there's Marana being silenced. That's an easy kill, especially with that double damage. Like, the Queen of Pain might even go for more. There's the slow, there's the scream. Not using that ultimate, but oh, DDX, that was not worth it. Nice reaction there by the Ancient Apparition, getting that kill. That was a bit too much and not really worth it. Oh, there's a do-do-do, but he's blinking. Oh, time walking away, it doesn't really matter. Gosh, Mystic Flare, and still all the damage, but nice Invoker, the Meatball dropping on 2, getting 2 down actually, and now it's maybe the Tidehunter, but I think he's too tanky, or nope, they're not gonna pursue this, but at least these 3 kills, they were desperately needed for CNB. Nevertheless, Slark, he's still playing his own game. He's just not with us.
He's playing PvE, currently pushing out the top lane into the tier 2 tower. Yeah, he's just in his own little world. They were still able to get the kill on the Faceless Void, as well as a couple of others beforehand. Ancient Apparition Ice Blast doesn't land, but the Sunstrike gets squarely on the duel. Say the arrow.
Everything is being thrown at him. Ice Blast, Sunstrike, arrow, and he's dodging it. Like, I don't know if, to be honest, I mean, the Ice Blast, it felt like a conscious dodge. The Sunstrike was nicely on target, and the arrow, I don't know if he saw it.
The arrow just wasn't long enough. Like, it wouldn't have hit him either way. But if it was just a little bit longer, that could have just went straight through the Slark and secured the kill. That would have been awesome to see, but it's not going to be the case. So yeah, Goody with the Blink Dagger potentially looking for initiation. He's sticking around here, just going to clear up that creep wave. The Sand King pushing down bottom due to doing... don't actually see the Sandstorm, as he is going to go ahead and deward that one. So yeah, Slark, his next item of choice, probably going to be that Scotty Ultimate Orb, already online for Dulce. The Slark should be rotating or doing something. The Blink Dagger isn't doing much in his inventory, and honestly, he probably could have just rushed the Scotty if he's going to keep on pushing out the lane solo. But now they're going to bring the fight to his lane as the Sunstrike picks up the Sand King bottom, especially with the Chronosphere being expended for that. Yeah, no, that was Chronosphere into Sunstrike, yep.
Oh, but look, top there. Center is already down since the Slark was diving. Moonlight Shadow is on, but it didn't really help him. Ice Blast is also not gonna hit anything, and oh well. Like, it's a 1-1 trade after all. Quite an equal trade if you want so, but we have more to follow. There the Slark, but the Time Walk to the low ground. Yeah, Queen of Pain. That Mirana is definitely down, and they're gonna get that Invoker on top of it easily. This time we finally have the Queen of Pain ultimate coming out. Like, he was holding back that ultimate for I don't know how long.
Yeah, and that's going to be the push into the tier 2 tower up in top. Half damage already done to it. It should be fairly easy for them to take, as there's just not much that CNB can do to defend against this. And it'll be pretty straightforward for them to take it already down. And yeah, there's not going to be wholehearted defense. They do TP in the Centaur. That's a questionable TP. He couldn't do anything at all with that one. 4 staff completed by your Tidehunter. As far as other items are concerned, I'm not sure if there's much progression at all on most of these heroes. We are going to have the workings of a Scythe on the Queen of Pain, but not very close to that at all.
Yep, and just a casual kill here, fullback. He's, I don't know, he's doing what the Slark has been doing all the time, just playing some PvE, and there was just a random AA running his way, and he just got him easily. And oh, Faces Void, they found him again. They just blow him up with a level 2 Mystic Flare. Obviously the silence is like the worst case scenario for him, because he needs that Time Walk to get the hell out of there. So this Queen of Pain, you mentioned it already in the draft, it is something that has to snowball, and I would definitely call this a snowball. She is everywhere screaming her way through CNB, so CNB, they have to do something. 10 kills behind. We have to look at the graphs at the moment, but this is not even funny. That's why I didn't want to show them. 14k at the moment. Oh, and the Centaur Warner has been found here trying to get a stun off. Actually, the stun lands. The arrow is connecting as well. This should be enough, even though he is silenced. The Sunstrike, I can't believe it. He's still alive, but yeah, Centaur is gonna pay for it. Nice deafening blast, but no follow-up whatsoever. It's a 1-1, but oh, there's Ice Blast. No, it's not gonna connect anything. Queen just restoring the ball there with Illusion Rune.
Yep, the amount of mobility on Isurus is no joke for CNB. They're just, I don't know, dancing around them. They're not able to find very clean initiations, and this Faceless Void, despite getting a fairly early Mask of Madness, is now working towards a Maelstrom. His item progression is pretty much completely halted for the last 10 minutes. And in the meantime, you have a Scotty on the Slark on top of a Blink in drums. This Slark is no joke at this point in the game, and there's not much that Markeka can actually do. They still have plenty of damage to burst down the targets inside the Chronosphere, but this Faceless Void is more or less there for the Chronosphere and nothing else. They're going to smoke up, looking towards mid. They might be able to find Papita as well as the Slark. They're not going to bump into them. There's the Ravage. Committed onto 2. Markeka blown up instantly. Mask of Madness not helping him. There is now Dulce looking to chase down this Invoker. The Centaur is going to make that very difficult. The Hoof Stomp as well as the Double Edge are going to go his way with the Deafening Blast Meteor combo. Dulce is going to fall, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but now they are going to have DDX jumping into the fray. He doesn't have a BKB or anything of the sort, and might just fall down to the right clicks. Blink Away is going to keep him safe, as now he's going to go for straight TP. The Epicenter on the backline is doing decent damage to Goody, but he's going to bring down Nidera before anything else happens. Chilling Touch going to be spent as the Gush goes away of Goody. They have detection, they don't need it. Even if they had it, the Burrow Strike's going to be enough to do in the Centaur. Still 2-for-2 trade that went better for CNB than I thought it would, and is going to benefit them as far as the gold swing is concerned, because they're at such a disadvantage.
But again, like, the Queen of Pain, she just doesn't want to use her ultimate. It's like her precious holding on to it, like, I'm not gonna scream, but now she's gonna scream. Look at this Mirana found. Orchid up on her, and there it is. She's slow. Is there a leap? Ah, she doesn't even need to. Like, if the Queen didn't do it, then Tidehunter was there just to get the kill secured. Either way, that makes it a 3-for-2 in the end. 25 minutes in, it's looking dire for CNB, but you're right, like, this fight in the mid went surprisingly well for the fact that they're that far behind. Remember, it's all still 6.82, it's the wonderland of comebacks, everything can happen, nothing is safe, no advantage is safe whatsoever. Even in 6.81 we had quite a comeback potential. I just point out to TI, for example, DKL, JD, games like that, but in 6.82 we see this regardless of the tier of Dota we are watching. Each and every team, they just need a good fight, and we have like 8k drops, 9k drops, turnarounds. Let's see if CNB can manage this.
Yeah, they can extend this game and hope for a very farm Faceless Void, which is what they're going to need to do. Maelstrom almost complete on Mark Echo will help their damage output quite a bit. But yeah, it's still Isurus' game to lose. But then again, it's still possible that they can lose it. Roshan is available for them, although their team doesn't take Roshan very quickly. They have a really good team for fighting in the Roshan pit. Faceless Void Chronosphere can be problematic inside the or inside the Roche pit, excuse me. But then again, so can the Epicenter as well as the Ravage. And I think they have a decent amount of damage in order to take the Roshan. Usually it's not a matter of being able to take it down as far as damage is concerned, but being able to do it.
Look at this, Mirana in a really bad position. You don't want to be there. There's a gush, but I think the fight is somewhere else because the Slark is actually getting focused. If that Ice Blast hits, no, this is not be enough. Like the center is already down. Mirana died as well, and now the Void is trying to do something. Chrono not even used. Like he doesn't even get to use that funny little blue bubble. They're time walking back and. Yeah, that's a 2-0 for Isurus. In the meantime, though, we have Corp and Sandking already pushing, and, well, I think Isurus, their national pride is completely satisfied. As I said, not today and Isurus, the only non-Brazilian teams left in this Brazilian tournament for $25,000, and, well, it seems like they're gonna preserve their spot. CNB, a very old team, at least the name is old, the roster is new. Pain, however, the old CNB plus minus one, that is, they're still in, so I mean the Brazilian crowd, they should be still satisfied. But yeah, Isurus, the Argentinians, it looks like they're staying in here, but then again you still have to go high ground, and high ground is a complete new story. Breaking high ground, unless of course you split push, going for a direct fight, is really a difficult thing in 6.82. There's so much that can happen. But the problem is, looking at the craft grinders, we're heading towards a 20k in experience. Pretty much the same number on gold. It's a direct growth all the way. I'm just not seeing this coming, especially with like more and more CC coming out. Alone the Queen of Pain has now slow, silence and a hex. And there's more to come on the entire team.
Yeah. The entire map is being controlled by Isurus throughout the entirety of this. They're sapping all of the farm away from the enemy jungle, as well as keeping lanes pushed into the enemy base. There's just not a safe place for CNB to find anything. They're going to smoke up and potentially look for a desperation move. If somebody shows their face, they might get taken down, but it looks like Isurus are just going to back off into the enemy jungle. This secures a little bit of farm for Goody, but it's not enough. The smoke is more or less going to be completely wasted. The Radiant does not have another smoke for 8.5 minutes, and as far as the ones in their inventory, they have one left on the Mirana, and that's all. Like, this is looking very hard for CNB. Even those Hail Mary smokes aren't going to be an option very soon. The next item choice is going to be BKB for the Slark, and once he has a BKB, there's very little, if anything, he has to fear. Currently chasing down the Courier, is he going to be able to get it? He needs one more auto attack on top of that. It is slowed by the Scotty. He needs to blink after it if he wants to go for it, and he will exercise a little bit of caution as the Queen of Pain's picked off down in bottom.
Yep,
wow.
that was the
arrow.
Powerful blue bubble.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, that was the blue bubble. They used it on him. It was actually really just on the edge, but we have a channeling Sand King. I'm not sure if they see it. Is there arrow casting? No, he's not in the cast animation, but it seems like someone stumbled over a cable or whatever happened there on LAN. But yeah, I don't know. Shoot the guy and get the guys back online, please. Please. Like, this is the last game. We are, I don't know, more than 13 hours on this, and 2 more days to come. So I really
Oh dear.
No.
They tripped over another cable.
No, this is not just a cable. Someone,
No.
I don't know,
Yeah.
power generator down, Brazilian electricity. Something happened.
Yeah, it's not pretty. There you go. There's your casters, as well as the majority of CNB, but the entire side of Isurus are off. So, I don't know. Let's see. Fullback with this Epicenter, it is level 2. He's probably going to more or less instantly kill the Ancient Apparition as well as the Mirana. Mirana has a leap, but that's not going to save you if you get hit by the Burrow Strike. So yeah, despite losing a Queen of Pain, they're probably going to be able to clean up after the fact. I'm interested to see how much gold this is going to swing in the favor of CNB. Honestly, it's probably not going to be enough. They did have to commit pretty much their entirety of their team fight, and if the Queen of Pain buys back, and they don't have a Chronosphere for 90 seconds, they could probably push high ground.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about the high ground yet, but I mean, the Queen of Pain, I don't think Isurus, they're gonna play safely here. I'm pretty sure about that. Like,
no, they're not gonna go risky.
Yeah. They wanna be at least in the first three to get some money here. I mean, it's 25,000 spread amongst the first three teams, if I understood it correctly. So no, this is definitely not a position. But we have some do action coming here because he's still channeling, and they're all back. They stay ready, so they're going. Even the casters, Brazilian casters, are reconnecting. And now it's still channeled, and they go for the Marana, but they leap out. But there is the burst strike, getting that kill. Now they want to go on him. There is even the stampede, but they can't really do anything. He's stunned up with the cold feet, but they're not following up on it. They Faceless Void was full HP, but they went back. There was a Tidehunter incoming, Blink Ravage, that would have been probably the demise of them. So going back here and making it a quap for Marana trade, I guess the wise thing to do. I mean, 30 minutes into the game, it's far from over if Isurus doesn't push high ground in the next some minutes. So let's see, CNB, they're fine with those trades. I think.
Sunstrike?
Yeah, Sunstrike, Ice Pass, but yeah, Mr. Doodoo is not getting hit by either. But yeah, I think 890 gold was on the Queen of Pain, or 780, 800, something like that. Around that number it was. Like, unfortunately, then all the disconnects came and I didn't see it anymore on the screen. But it was a quite okay-ish trade. You were curious how much that's gonna bring. Well, an experience quite a bit. In gold, maximum 1k. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
it allows the Faceless Void. Yeah. It allows the Faceless Void to get up his BKB, or not the BKB, but rather the Ogre Club towards his BKB. So Marquette is going to be a little bit more tanky, but honestly, he needs the completed Black King bar and be thinking about completing up another item to really be comfortable this game. Currently being more than doubled up by the Slark in net worth, who's currently going to be building towards, or just sending out the BKB of his own, is in mid. They're going to jump in and they find two with the initiation, but it's not going to happen. They time walk forward to the Chronosphere and Pavita, try to focus it down. They're doing enough damage. If they get the bashes, then they will. It is going to be a dominating spree, going back the way of CNB, and Ravage also down, a huge teamfight win for CNB.
That was a very, very strange Ravage. That Ravage was supposed to save something, but to be honest, if you use a Ravage to save a Skywrath Mage that was on a direct attack with a Void close by and an Ice Blast on top, that is, I think, different priority list than mine, because, yeah, they need that Ravage. Now, it's a long cooldown, it's 150 seconds, and he's back in 30, which means that adds another 120 seconds, 2 minutes, without a Ravage. I mean, they can fall back and they farm. I mean, they have a nice advantage. That's like, as I said, hardly in this game with us. He is most of the time just farming, PvEing. Right now, even he's going against the engine called Roshan. It's the first Roshan this game. It's the Virginity Roshan. 31 minutes in, a very late one, but apparently, Slark, you don't have enough regen for this. But still, the Queen of Pain coming in, eating the first bash. But yeah, they're gonna get him eventually.
Yep. It's only a matter of time now with the Gush Mine Summer on top of it. It is going to be taken by them. Fullback completes up his Aghanim Scepter, so the Epicenter is going to be doing a whole lot of damage, especially now it's also level
Queen
16.
of Pain.
Yep.
That's quite a lot of damage. Is that already Aghanim Scepter? No, unfortunately not. Like 700 gold short of the Aghanim Scepter. And is this actually... Wait, I just looked at it, but I forgot. It's a level 2 Ice Blast still. The Aghanim Scepter would have made a difference here. That might have been a shatter on the Queen of Pain, but yeah, this is the downside of this. I go directly for the Aghanim Scepter on the Ancient Apparition, nothing else. Like, he didn't buy any wards, he did buy nothing. He really didn't support. He went for the Aghanim Scepter still. Half an hour later, still not on it, but maybe with the next fight. Or the Slark, actually, now with the ages, he finally found, I don't know, his bold heart, or the bold side of his heart.
I suppose so. I don't know, he might just go hit some more creeps until he has all 6 of his slots. They are going to Burst Strike, but it's not going to do anything. I didn't actually see where that went. It was completely defensive, going back towards the rest of his team. Potentially a little bit of an, I don't know, overreaction by the Sanking. I don't think he needed to go so far.
Oh well, he just wanted to make sure. Right now, CNB, they're turtling. Like, this is Turtle Dota made in Purcell. But let's see, Moonlight Shadow out. You don't need a smoke if you have a Mirana. And they want to go on the Queen of Pain, but they don't have a silence, anything about the arrow. The arrow is going to seal the deal. She's down, and that's definitely good, because that's another 70 seconds without a Queen of Pain. Not to mention, obviously, that this is a very nice kill. I mean, experience-wise, this is 2.6 experience. Just like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a big swing going the way of CNB. Those stuns were perfectly chained together. That arrow, if it came a split second later, it would have been the blink away by the Queen of Pain. But either way, it's going to secure that kill just barely, however. Queen of Pain, it would be wise for her to invest in a little bit more HP, potentially a BKB of her own. But instead, it looks like she's heading towards the Shivas as in mid. They find themselves in Nidera. Nidera's pretty tanky with Bloodstone, but might lose it now. Instead, they're going to turn around with the Ravage Epicenter. A beautiful combination of those two heroes to give them a double kill. And turning what could have been a loss of 3 charges on the Skywrath Mage into a gain of 2 is on the backline. Slark going ham onto the Mirana, and now they might find themselves even more. The Gush isn't going to come out, and Dulce has not a care in the world. He will... split the Sunstrike damage with 2 of his friendly heroes. Yeah. And the tier 2 tower is going to fall afterwards.
What was that Ice Blast, by the way? The Ice Blast, I thought, yay, at least I get the Skywrath Mage kill as some sort of revenge, but in the end, like, the Ice Blast flew through to the tier 2 tower. I think the Ancient Aberration kind of fell asleep while casting it, so the Skywrath Mage surviving. And the funny part is, of all of that, Isurus was S4. And now they go on the Invoke here and... well, too fast to cast. He's just exploding. And the TP in by the center, he didn't cancel it. So much damage, but ha! This Skywrath Mage is just wrecking himself with his own Mystic Flare into a Blade Mare. But he has a Bloodstone, so therefore he's coming really, really fast back into this game. Right now he already respawned. And he had quite some charges here. That was 9 charges on him.
Yeah. Honestly, he should have just denied himself as soon as he dropped that ultimate because he was going to die. When you Skywrath ulti a Centaur Warner with, I don't know, almost twice as much HP as you do, well, actually, no, it's not that bad. But with 2000 HP, you are going to die. Let's see, we are going to see the Sand King up in top, playing potentially a little bit of a dangerous game. He's going to be completely fine. Invoker's item build is actually very peculiar. He goes for a straight-up refresher. I didn't see when he completed it, and I haven't felt the impacts of it yet. But we might be in for some double Meteor shenanigans, as well as double Sunstrikes inside the Chronosphere if they're able to line that up. Currently smoking and looking again for DDX.
They really want him, and he's running directly into him, and look at this, the Centaur, he tried to stun, help there as well, just to make sure everything's going, but Queen of Pain, she's coming back, she's dying, like, this is the 3rd time he's pretty much dying, but oh, everything's missing on the Void, but, of course, the Pounce is gonna latch, but the ultimate on and everything's fine, so that was just a little excursion into the high ground, but nothing's really happening. Oh, there's an arrow, not connecting on anything, but still, Isurus sees himself again with just 4 heroes sitting in front of the tier 3 tower, and nothing's really happening, so I don't know, what is the right choice to do? Falling back, getting even more advantage, and then going high ground? The best would be, what about the Queen of Pain not going solo somewhere? That might be, after the 3rd death, I guess the best solution.
Arrow going to be shot by the Mirana, doesn't land on anything. Dulce still with the Aegis, is able to chip away at this tower fairly safely. Dulce is about to complete another slot basher currently inside his base, not going to send that out. Potentially going to just be the replacement for his Aegis. He might be shipping out the drums anytime soon. But yeah, it's still Isurus' game, despite CNB now having some pretty major tools in order to get that team fight. There is still potential for them to take the team fight as long as there's not an Aegis on the Slark. If they get a 5-man Chronosphere, follow up with the Ice Blast, as well as the double combo from the Invoker, that can kill everybody inside of Isurus if they're not able to get off the BKBs. And that means that they do have to be inside that Chrono before that happens.
I mean, now 37 minutes in, we finally have a BKB on the Faceless Void. It's not adding too much damage, obviously, but it's giving him some HP, and he can pop that BKB, not being silenced all the time by either the Seal or the Orchid, obviously. And of course he was also immune against the Sheep. Then again, if the Sheep comes earlier out and he gets caught out by surprise, he's still dying as fast as he did pretty much the entire game. What are the stats anyway on that Void? He's 3, 7, and 5 at the moment, so... ooh, well, this is your safe lane Void. That's why I don't like it. Like, compared to this Void, I actually prefer the utility Void in the offlane we had before. Let's see, 38 minutes, 18 and 30. Isurus finds himself again. Never mind that. Just this easy solo kill by Mr. Doodoo. That was the epicenter used for Mirana. Okay. Interesting. Now that means 5 and 4? Yeah, no buyback.
It's only going to be a 70-second cooldown. They might consider, I don't know, just waiting for that again, but also their Aegis on their Slark is already expired, and he is going to replace that with Bashos. So maybe they're going to be cautious, but honestly they shouldn't have been. As the Chronosphere only lands at a 1, as Nidera walks back into it, they drop one of the meteors, and it will bring down the Queen of Pain before this fight begins. Refresher coming out from T25. It doesn't do that much damage as the Ravage comes out from the Tidehunter. It doesn't hit anything, however. They will start focusing down onto the Invoker and get him dead, as now Marquette is getting bashed down by Dulce, getting a lot of stacks of that passive. He's man fighting under the tier 4 towers, and without the Aegis, Dulce is going to back off. So it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade after all is said and done, if you include the Mirana pickoff before that actually broke out. Dulce is still going to be sticking around since he does have that regen, and they're going to go for round 2, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. The Tidehunter using that Ravage. The Ravage was nicely dodged actually by CNB. But let's see. Oh, there's the stun here. Is there? Yeah, it will connect on the Slug. But Slug has no ultimate, so you gotta be careful here. The arrow, was it? That was the arrow directly in the face, but yeah. Oh, the Dark Pact. It removed it instantly. Otherwise, that might have been a cold feed proc and a potential kill, but it just didn't happen. Moonlight Shadow being used. Maybe they go on the Slark again. Still no ultimate. They might try.
The Faceless Void currently in bottom, taking a lot of damage from just the Tidehunter as well as the Sand King. Committing no ultimates for that. Just their nukes is in mid. They're going to use Centaur ultimate, chasing out Dulce. They get the kill onto the Slark. His fullback on the backlines does get the kill onto the Centaur. They are going to throw a concussive shot the way of C4T. Silence him up. Skywrath Mage ultimate almost completely does end C4T. Now they blink in, and one more odd tech from Skywrath Mage is all that they needed in order to secure that kill. But still, they lose their Slark, which is a decent amount of their ability to fight. Still, it's only an HF version of Faceless Void for 10 seconds till they have that Invoker. I still think that Isurus could probably decide to back off here, especially since Roshan could be up any moment now, or at least that's what they think. Potentially just wait until you have another Aegis.
Yep, Roshan is gonna respawn pretty soon. Still, 40 minutes, and like the first time we talked about, hey, Isurus, they have such an advantage and whatnot, they could go high ground and this game is over and whatnot. 20 minutes later, we're still not through the first tier 3 tower. I mean, of course, bottom, there's like a dent in it, a third, like 2/3 in the mid, top, it's okay, also a third. Well, slowly but steadily, Isurus is trying to break that high ground, but yeah, as they dive and as their like buybacks coming in CNB, they're holding their base for now. The only problem is they don't hold Isurus back from farming. That experience is pretty much locked at 20k, and even beyond that we have the gold craft at the moment, so slowly but steadily. There's just small dents in the craft, but this is just like here and there a pick off. Overall, Isurus is always taking back whatever they lost immediately and then put something additionally on top of it. So nothing's gonna change at the moment. It's status quo for 20 minutes, CNB turtling it out, but I just don't see it happening, as that Slug is really fed. Queen of Pain getting more and more items, like even more magical bursts coming in now, and also the other items will come out pretty much soon. Never mind, they are already out. I just wanted to mention the Refresher, but it's already on the Tidehunter, so the next time we fight, we have a double Ravage.
Yeah, Roshan is going to respawn. Isurus don't seem very interested in taking it. I think they should. Like, if they haven't been able to break high ground with all of the items that they have,
they want to do something with it, but do they find something?
They're not going to find anything.
No.
I don't think so.
It's the Slark. Maybe the Slark. With a nice initiation on the Slark, they could do something, but oh, for top! There's the Queen of Pain, but oh, it just fades as she's coming around the corner. Now there's the initiation on the Slark, but they completely miss it. Arrow trying. They still want to get him, but ultimate on. Oh, actually, that is quite nice. The Slark is fading now. Now they can actually cast on him, but this is a BKB. Pretty long, 7 seconds, but first Ravage out there. Nice ultimate by the Quab. They're just getting obliterated. Doo-doo-doo on top of it. I mean, with the BKB, he's not getting too much damage. Invoker dying as well. Like, there's so much coming. At least the Slark is gonna die. He's gonna shatter from that for sure. But still, it's a 4-for-1 trade overall. That's about it. And now they're gonna even follow up on that. This is tier 3 tower, at least.
It's Ancient Version alone for 30 seconds, and without the majority of the team for 60. None of them have buybacks available, and this is at least one lane, probably all 3 of them.
I think with
might
the
not be all 3. Just like
it
one
will
or two.
be 2. I say it's 2. It's gonna be top. They're gonna get this one for sure, and in mid the tower doesn't have much HP left, so the Slark actually, I don't know, he could have had like a buyback and a BOT in. We saw that earlier of the teams, but as I said, Isurus, they know they have an advantage. They know they can, they should play safe. and that's what they do right now. They're not even directly rushing to the tower, they're pushing the creeps, they're really playing the safe. They want to stay in this tournament, they want to get monies. Who doesn't? So yeah, they could have sealed the deal here under normal circumstances, but yeah, they're waiting a bit. So we have another fight, but this one, if it's an all-out fight, it's gonna be a decisive one. But do we even have it? Because there's already a Hex on the Mirana, leaping away, dodging the Burst Strike with it, but now he's still in trouble because there's the entire army of Isurus. But nice force stuff still. He's gonna get quite some damage from it, maybe even chopping on it. And oh, is there initiation? No, he's silenced. I can't even believe it. At least they get the Queen of Pain. The Slark is still dead, and now they follow up on the Skywrath Mage, losing some more stacks on that Soul Stone. Never mind that. He's losing the stacks, but he suicided before. So in the end, in the mid, the racks are still standing. They lose 2. Interesting, to be honest. I think Isurus could have done more here by sticking together or by just going greedily for that tower, maybe even the buyback on the Slark. But they choose the longer way. So 44 minutes, the game is not over yet. Slowly but steadily, they get the base though.
Yeah. I don't know, it is only going to be one lane. I thought they'd get more than that. Epicenter was channeled and completely wasted by the Sand King as he cancels that and backs off at the end of it. Probably the right choice to not go aggressively in the enemy team, but then again, it is going to be on cooldown, only for another 30 seconds. As Roshan's being sold up by Dulce, is going to tank with the Tidehunter Illusions, or probably is going to tank with the Tidehunter Illusions. It looks like doesn't even need to with the Abyssal Blade now on Dulce. He does have the Drums of Endurance still, and he'll drop those in favor of getting the Aegis, but for all intents and purposes, this Slark is completely 6-slotted, or at least his effectiveness isn't getting very much higher in these team fights.
Still, his damage without Essence Shift, it's quite interesting that he doesn't get too much out. I mean, he has not too many damage items. This is the Abyssal Plate, but Ioscadi just adding mostly studs. The BKB is not the highest damage item anyway. Oh, this is quite interesting, to be honest. Slark dropping really low, but oh, with this arrow, the arrow landing on the Slark. This is quite interesting. If Roshan it does one more, and that's it. Slark killed by the Roshan, but Faceless Void, he had to pay for it. He's dying again before, as well as the Mirana. Roshan is going down. Queen of Pain is snatching it. Actually, that Roshan went to the Radiant side. Now Center Warner, he can't really do anything in the background. They killed the Invoker, and now Dududu, he's running towards that Ancient Apparition, trying to get him. They make it a team wipe. They're all dead. They're just all dead. Even that Ice Blast, it won't do anything. Just some damage coming out, but this is not enough to get a Shatter. So the only fun part about this was the Slark getting killed by Roshan. But yeah, the revenge is there. They're all dead.
That Ravage, though, from Pepita, he started the animation the first time and then cancelled it, and as soon as the Faceless Void jumped in, perfect Ravage timing, while Slark was getting bashed to death by the Roshan. It was still well executed by Isurus. Although they don't get the last hit on the Roshan, they still snatch the Aegis. It's still a win for them, despite Slark getting caught with his pants down inside the Roshan pit as he gets bashed to death.
Yeah, it's timing. It's timing. You said it right. Like, I mean, that Void, and I have to say this, the Void has a damn BKB. Why not using it? He knows there's an Orchid, there's a Hex, there's a Seal, there's a Ravage, and now there's even an Abyssal Plate. So, the hell, why don't you use it? Okay, Abyssal Plate, never mind that, you would be still stunned, but at least all the other things I just mentioned, that would have been prevented. But he's just getting every time taken out before anything's happening. But still, they're buying back. 4 of them are back. Ancient Aberration's coming back in 15 seconds. So nothing really changed. Roshan, okay, was taken by CNB. Yoo-hoo, a bit gold. But yeah, overall, they get the Aegis on the Queen of Pain. That's not too much of a loss. And they will, I think, go high ground soon.
Soon. In Valve time. Like, this game felt like it was soon, like 20 minutes ago, but it's 47 minutes in. We still have a ridiculous advantage for Isurus, but honestly, that advantage is less important than it was earlier on. It's just the little mistakes. Like, if that Faceless Void got his Chronosphere off, that fight could have gone a whole lot differently for CNB. Still, a lot of advantage towards Isurus. The stun goes away with Goody in mid. Isn't going to be followed up by anything. His fullback's just going to be playing pretty cheekily. 5,500 gold or thereabouts on Isurus. What?
Yeah, look at the hero levels. I mean, this XP advantage is ridiculous. We're looking towards the 40k. I've never seen in my life a 40k experience advantage. Like, in how many thousand freaking games cast. But, okay, I just displayed the hero levels for the viewers, and it's just ridiculous. Like, 25, 24, 24, then the Tidehunter on 23, and just that damn noob Skywrath Mage can't keep up with the XPM. He's on 19, but that's pretty much it. This is just insane.
Ooh, jump into the base. Coming on to C4T from fullback. He is going to be forced to back off. Just, I don't know, doing this, I don't know, just a little cheeky blink, stun, 4-step away, get out there safely. But even though they have a vast experience advantage, the experience is kind of negligible at this point, as everybody has all of their skills maxed out, although the extra tank from stats would be nice. It's still possible for them to win teamfights. The bigger issue is that the net worth chart is completely dominated by Isurus, and the top 3 farmers are all theirs to be had, and the Invoker is not even close to them. He hasn't gotten very much after the Refresher and the BKB. In fact, that's all of really his major items, bar the mobility stuff that he has available, and we really haven't seen the big combo from the Invoker yet. Which is still going to do a whole lot of damage, but honestly, with an Aegis, as well as a Reaver and your Queen of Pain and a BKB on the Slark, it doesn't matter. Ooh, jump in again, onto Goody. They don't follow this up again. I don't know.
It's more or less just to disable the blink, I guess. Now Orchid is up there as well. Like, to be honest, for me they play even a bit too carefully, because the Queen of Pain, goddammit, you have a Aegis. Oh, there's a Hex. You know, they're just buying time. Another just strike, but there's the Moonlight Shadow, but it's in their own base. What are they doing with this? So mid Rax, it's pretty much done. It is done, or is it? There, Queen of Pain. Slow little stun, another stun, and is it enough? It is enough to get at least the Aegis down. First Ravage came out, but yeah, they get the Titan before the second one is coming out. It's a 1-1 trade so far by the Void. He has to pay for it immediately. The fight is still gonna continue with, yeah, there's the blink of the center. He actually makes it out. Ancient Aberration, oh, you gotta be careful, otherwise you're gonna be farmed around it. There's an ice wall in front of the fountain. That's always a bad sign of the game. Slark in the meantime playing PvE, getting that Rex down, and that's pretty much Mega Creeps right there. They still want to fight. BKB's being popped by the Invoker. You already gotta go back. There's the Ghost War coming out. Center, he's pretty much just getting ignored. Maybe he's gonna get a kill here on the Skyrive Mage. His last will, yes, actually, he's gonna blow him up, but 4 down, and that's it. I guess GG. Rather well played by Isurus.
I suppose so, man. That was like the most non-committal bleh ending statement ever. It really was. Like, this game probably didn't have to last so long.
Good
but
game.
Either way,
Good game. No, but like, we have to be honest, this game was in the hands of Isurus all the frickin' time. From the very beginning till the end, and they played so carefully because they are in a loser bracket here. If you lose, you're out, you have to go home. Another Brazilian team leaves the Brazilian Dota tournament, however you want to call it. The BGC, the Brazilian Game Cup, is over for today, but tomorrow we're coming back, and from tomorrow on it's gonna be best of 3. So tomorrow 3 best of 3s. The next game is in the winner bracket, and then we're going directly to the semifinals in the loser bracket, and then the semifinals in the winner bracket, and the day after we have the final plus the third place decider. My name is HeflaTV, you're here on HeflaTV, and with me was Mr. Grandeswe, the amazing co-caster Mr. Grandeswe. For those who said like, oh my god, I'm falling asleep, yes, we are also falling asleep, guys. We are hours and hours and hours on this tournament with a lot of delays and whatnot. While you've been enjoying ESL 1, we have been here and providing content for the community for those who wanted to see it. So I hope those who were here, they enjoyed it. As I said, on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, etc., you're gonna get all the news. I think we're gonna start tomorrow around 16ish, since we have to play 1 game from today. The original plan is to start at 18 CET, but I think we're gonna start a bit earlier. It will be on Twitter, Facebook, I will announce it, and obviously you can also look at the official page, Join Dota, Gozo Gamers, Liquid Dota, whatever ticker site you use, and maybe we're gonna even get 1 or 2 games on Dota 2 launch. That's the plan for tomorrow and Sunday. I hope to see you there, guys. It was a lot of fun, tons of fun today. We had amazing games. See ya tomorrow then, guys.